What's up everyone, thank you for stopping by for another video. Today is a very special day for me as I get to unbox this beauty of a gimbal. I reached out to a company called Hohem and they were kind enough to send me this to review. This is going to be my honest review, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. So open it out of the box. It's called a iSteady Mobile. This is the mobile version of their gimbal. You can put it into landscape or portrait orientation, which is a plus. And so the reason I chose this one was because it was $100. The reviews on it were, for the most part, fairly well, and I just didn't want to drop the extra money for more of a name brand or anything like that. So like I said, this is going to be an honest review. This is strictly my opinions on this gimbal. I am not paid by anyone, and yeah. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Alright, so a little background. My brother actually has the Osmo, or the DJI Osmo, or DJI Osmo. And packaging wise, this is almost mimics the Osmo. So, and from that aspect, I like it. Now the case itself is more of it's a hard shell soft, I guess you could say. There's padding in it. It feels very well to the hands. It also feels like it's gonna hold the gimbal quite well. There's some instructions if you're into the instruction thing. Most people just watch a YouTube video on learning how to set up your gimbal. Okay, but as you can see, opening up the case, we have the gimbal itself. We have the wires in there, as well as the tripod. Now, what I like about the gimbal is the fact that it's a 3-axis gimbal. But not only is it a 3-axis gimbal, it's designed well enough to where the top of it, the actual gimbal part, the stabilization part, isn't going to hit the frame of the gimbal. So that's a very big plus if you're using a iPhone 8 Plus or any other big device like that. So I highly recommend it in regards to that, simply because the DJI that I've used, it always hits that bottom frame of the gimbal, and it doesn't necessarily allow you to get the angles that you want to get. Okay, so moving on, you can see we have a 1/4 inch mount right there, the little screw hole up on top of the gimbal head. We also have a 1/4 inch on the side for mounting, as well as a tripod mount on the very bottom. You can see right here, they do include this in the carrying case. It fits quite well in there. And it also has nice rubber paddings on the bottom of the tripod to ensure that it's not going to move around once you sit it down. Okay, so moving on, if you just one tap the power or the record button, you can see the battery is indicated on the side of the handle. It also has a USB slot on the other side. This is to basically enable the gimbal to act as a power bank. So that's a great feature to have. And then it also has your micro USB if you or whenever you need to charge the gimbal, that's where you're going to charge it. When it comes to the grip of the gimbal, it actually, for $99 you would expect a little bit worse, but this gimbal is extremely well designed, especially with the grip in mind. The padding of the iPhone holder is a great spot. It's not hard on your iPhone. It's not going to scratch it in any sort of way, so your iPhone just slips right into it, and you should be good to go. Alright guys, so if you're coming over from Amazon, you've already seen the majority of the review. However, I do want to touch on a few things that I did not add into the Amazon review. And that is going to be really evolved around the app. However, I love this gimbal. If I had to rate it on stars out of 10, I would probably rate it right around a 8.5 to a 9. Those other stars that it's missing, or that other portion that it's missing, is strictly within the app. The app is not user-friendly. It is not well developed. However, if you get to practicing it and get to using it, yeah, you'll find things easier. But there's one thing that I really want to touch on. Okay, so here you have your app right here, and it doesn't have to be on the gimbal to be open. However, you do have to be connected through Bluetooth in order to use some of the functions. But I want to tell you where they're really, in my opinion, they really need to focus on when developing or updating this app. So that is right here in the settings app. So in the settings app, if you go in, it's going to have camera settings. If you have it hooked up to your gimbal, it'll have Bluetooth, and then it'll have gimbal settings and such like that. However, if you don't have it, you're just going to have camera settings, but that's really all I want to focus on right now. Okay, so right here, the very top option is going to say video quality. So this is where I think they're really lacking on a developer standpoint, is if you click it, it says 1080p, 4K, 720p, and 480p. However, this is why I use the stock app. If you scroll down to your camera app, it's going to be right here. You can actually see you have two options for 1080p, you have an option for 720p, as well as you have three options for 4K. I don't shoot in 4K, but the fact that I have three options and only one in the app is a big letdown. However, I do shoot in 1080p, and so here's where it really affects me, is 1080 at 30 frames per second or 1080 at 60 frames per second. This is in the stock camera app. And so that means basically if I'm recording 60 frames per second in the stock camera app, I'm able to take that into post and slow it down by half speed. And so it'll look a lot more smoother whenever I'm editing it, or I'm able to get a lot more slow motion shots. Whenever you go into the actual Hohem app, this is what you have right here, and it only, like I said, it only says 1080p. It doesn't control the frames per second, it only controls the quality. And I really think it's lacking right there. I think that it could do so much more if it actually enabled that feature. Another thing that it actually lacks off in is if you go back to the actual camera right here. And so if you click it, and let's say I hit standard, so now it's in video mode, right? But the thing is whenever you're using the gimbal, and I'm going to turn it on. Okay, so I actually put it on the gimbal to really help with what I was actually showing you. If you hit the, we're going to reopen it. We're going to connect my device. Okay, so here's where I think the app is missing one more final key feature. And that is whenever you actually hit the camera button or the record button to actually switch to the video recorder. I feel like once you do that, you should be able to single press the record button on the controller, on the gimbal itself. But once you hit the record button, I'm going to hit it right now. It just takes a picture. I don't think that is a smart feature. I would like to be able to just single press the record button and boom, go in straight into recording. Instead, I have to double press the record button in order to start my recording. So I'm going to go ahead and be quiet so you can actually hear me double press. And now, as you can see, I have a timer up here and it has started recording. Like I said, I think that that's a feature that they really left out. Don't get me wrong though, the motion tracking, the object tracking, those are great features and they actually perform extremely well. Like I said, this is strictly from an app standpoint. I don't think that all of the features that should be available are available. Okay, so I added this clip in here. Basically, I wanted to show you, this is straight out of the app itself, and you can see how jittery it is. I don't know how many frames per second, but my timeline is set in 24, and this is very jittery, so I'm not sure on that. Moving on to this video right here, or this clip right here. This is recorded in 60 frames per second, and I'm going to be able to slow down this clip by about half. And whenever I do that, it's like I said, that's the only reason I included this clip in here. I just want to show you that this is the stock camera app, and I'm able to slow it down by half and get nice smooth shots with the gimbal. But like I said, if I had to rate this gimbal out of 10 stars, I would give it a 8.5 to a 9. It is a great gimbal. It performs extremely well. You can see this is what I was talking about whenever I said I want to be able to tilt it up like this. And so I'm actually able to do that with this one. I can rotate it just like this. Let me get a better view at that. So I'm going to turn the gimbal to the side. See, this is what I mean. A lot of gimbals can't do this because they stop right there on that axis. Whereas this gimbal, you can actually go all the way above it, and that'll enable you to get some extremely low shots. So it's a great addition. If you want to get back into that, just do it like that. It's a great gimbal. I highly recommend this gimbal, especially like I said, for $100. I don't think you can go wrong. There's some sites that sell it every now and then for right around 70 to 80 bucks. And if you see it for that cheap, like I said, you need to grab that, because that is going to be a steal of a deal. Great gimbal. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you subscribe to my channel, I'm going to be posting more, not necessarily reviews on this, but I'm going to show you exactly the kind of videos you can take with this. Leave a like if you did enjoy this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Turn on that bell notification. Get notified exactly when I post videos, guys. It really helps a lot, and I appreciate you for watching this video. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.